There's a big project at Harvard University called the Vanishing Voter Project, where they study attitudes towards elections and so on. Right before the election, so this has nothing to do with shenanigans in Florida, but before the election, about 75% of the population felt that there was no election going on in any sense that involved them. What was happening was some kind of game involving rich contributors, party bosses, the public relations industry, which crafts the candidates to say particular things and have particular gestures, which you can't believe what they say.
And
this was a large majority of the population.
And they wouldn't even let Ralph Nader into the debate when he had a ticket.
They wouldn't, and there was a huge attack against him, mainly from the kind of more liberal press, because he was regarded as disrupting the system of, basically two factions of one party. I mean, the two factions are different. I don't say that Democrats and Republicans are identical, but they share fundamental interests, and those are the interests of their corporate backers, not very surprising. Easy if it was otherwise.
And
but I think the one thing where I'm not convinced by what you say is that I think the public is largely aware of it.
Oh, no, sir, I agree with you. I know they're cynical. They know something's wrong. They smell the dead body under the floor, but they
don't know what to do. They don't feel they can. In fact, that's an important point, and I think you're right about that. One of the things that is measured in these studies is what's called hopelessness. Helplessness. Like, do you feel there's nothing you can do about it? That figure has been going up, and it reached its historical peak last November.
Professor Chomsky, we've got to break. Coming up the next segment, I really appreciate you joining us because I'm obsessed with this stuff. It seems to be the only game in town. We really want to fight this. I want to talk about their modes of control, examples of propaganda, how they split people's minds and corral the information they receive. When we return with Noam Chomsky from MIT.
More than 700 chemicals have been found in our drinking water. And did you know that you can have greater exposure to these chemicals by taking hot showers than when you drink the water? That's because many chemicals are inhaled when they evaporate, and others are absorbed through the skin. The KDF shower filter is designed to reduce chlorine, lead, mercury, and iron, and it inhibits the growth of bacteria, mold, algae, and fungus in your shower. The media is non-toxic, environmentally sound, and is recyclable. The KDF shower filter will typically last 10,000 gallons or 1 year, whichever comes first. Hospitals, restaurants, and water treatment facilities use this media to reduce chlorine, iron, heavy metals, and bacteria. What about you? Order your KDF shower filter, normally $49, for our special price of only $35, a $14 savings. Call now to order at 1-888-803-4438. Order today and save $14 by calling 1-888-803-4438. Hey, America, Alex Jones here. You can forget the Blair Witch Project and Eyes Wide Shut. My documentary film, Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, is for real. For over 127 years in a secluded Redwood Grove, deep in Northern California, world leaders making up an elite society known as the Bohemian Club have revived the ancient Canaanite cult of Molech. Rumors have always swirled around this sinister enclave. Dozens of major media institutions have failed to get hard video evidence out of the 2,700-acre cult compound. Now I am excited to announce that we have successfully blown Bohemian Grove wide open with our hidden cameras. Learn about the membership and the history of the Grove. Witness the fiery cremation of care ceremony. Priests in red and black robes conjuring demons. A bound human sacrifice. If you see one film this year, get Dark Secrets. Call toll-free at 888-253-3139. That's 888-253-3139. This is something world leaders don't want you to see. Order now at 888-253-3139 or go to my website, Infowars.com.
A sick population is easy to push around. That's why crucial information, critical information, powerful information is being kept from you. The government's own top scientists know about stopping infection and disease. The fact is, you could be making the safest and most powerful medicine on earth virtually for the price of water. But you're not supposed to know that. Call our toll-free number today and receive important information with medical science references and detailed instructions that show you everything you need to know. It might save your life. Imagine having a hospital that fits in your shirt pocket. Call 888-505-6005 or go to silversolutions.com on the internet. Silver Solutions is here to help, to bring you the information you need, the information that may save your life. Call today at 888-505-6005. That's 888-505-6005 for Silver Solutions. It's a hospital that fits in your shirt pocket.
On the average, Americans work between 45 to 50 years, hoping to build up enough wealth to retire and live out their golden years. Unfortunately, with taxation, the rising cost of food, energy, housing, and medical, many retirees are forced to live below the poverty line. Is this a flaw of free enterprise, or is our monetary unit we call the Federal Reserve Note forcing us into perpetual debt, ensuring inflation and higher taxes? These questions and more can be answered by reading G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Congressman Ron Paul states it's what every American needs to know about central bank power. A gripping adventure into the secret world of international banking cartel. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I will give a silver dollar from the early 1900s to anyone who purchases this book. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order a copy today. It's critical that the public be made aware of the system. Call and order your copy today at 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
That's right. That's my motto. That's my slogan up on Infowars.com, my premier website. From Reuters, yesterday, invited as speakers, Bill Clinton and Tony Blair were groomed at the Bilderberg meeting before rising to fame as U.S. President and British Prime Minister, respectively. They go on to brag about how they run our country. I was a kook 3 years ago to talk about this huge corporate elite, and now they're throwing it in our face. Is that, Professor Chomsky, part of the hopelessness that they're trying to instill in us? I've seen a shift in the propaganda in the last 3 years from denying all of this to throwing it in our face.
Could be, but I think my own feeling is the roots go back farther. If you go back again to the early part of the 20s, like 1920s approximately, that's when this stuff really takes off.
Madison Avenue?
That's when the public relations industry really exploded. And it grew on the basis of the very sensible assumption that was pretty clearly articulated, that we have to somehow make sure that the general public does not make use of the democratic opportunities that are available to them and leaves us to run the place as we've been doing. And the way to do it was, you read the business leaders are saying, look, we have to induce what's called a philosophy of futility. They actually use the phrase. We have to kind of direct people to superficial things like fashionable consumption. We have to regiment, anything that doesn't bother us.
Bread and circus.
Yeah, just anything like that. I mean, and that's true of leading intellectuals. I mean, take, say, Walter Lippmann, who was he's the leading figure in the U.S. Elite media in the 20th century, major public intellectual. He's the one who invented the phrase manufacture of consent. We borrowed it from him. And he thought it was necessary. It's necessary to manufacture consent in order to make sure that we, what he called the responsible men, can run the affairs of the world without being bothered. And what he didn't say, but what is crucial is your point, you become a responsible man if you're serving the interests of concentrated private power. Otherwise, you're not.
Professor Chomsky, during the break we were talking about, I just observed this. They will have somebody on TV, both sides are taking private property under the guise of environmentalism, and they're both really on the same side, but they act like this is the two choices, that there's an actual debate going on when it's not, controlling the entire system of thought. What do you call that?
Well, I think a sensible, like if you and I were to sit down and invent an effective system of propaganda, we wouldn't have a unique party line, coming from the Kremlin or something, which everybody could detect and nobody would believe. Like in the Soviet Union, nobody believed the propaganda because the force was so plain and the source was so obvious that to believe it. The intelligent way to design a propaganda system is to present the illusion of debate, but within a fixed framework that you're not allowed to escape. So you start with certain assumptions. Everyone has to accept those assumptions or they're not admitted into the discussion. Once you accept those assumptions, you want to stimulate the most lively and intense debate and controversy, but ensuring that those assumptions are maintained. Anybody questions